What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. This video gonna be a little serious, man. Y'all, the cost of living in America is getting outrageous. It's getting ridiculous out here. Like, when I sit and think about it, man, in 3 years, my rent has increased by $500. I've seen other people's rent increase by $600. You know, a little bit over 600. It's getting wild out here. There is no way that you should have to live with another person in order to be able to pay your rent. There's no way that should be a thing. There's no way you should have to have more than one job in order to just pay rent, in order to just have shelter. That is crazy, right? Now I can get if you need some additional income to have all these different streaming services and all this and all that. But just to pay rent, just to have somewhere to lay your head, you need multiple jobs, multiple streams of income. That is ridiculous. It's out of control, man. And something got to give. These landlords getting extremely greedy. They just upping prices on everything. The rent is just getting ridiculous. These jobs do not want to pay you what you're really worth. You can have multiple degrees, a master's degree. They paying you like you just got one degree. Sometimes they paying you like you ain't got no degree. So essentially you went to school for nothing. The job market is trash, right? A lot of these people are putting up fake job postings, fake job postings, acting like they looking for, they're not looking for new hires. They already know who they want to hire. They just have they're hiring internally, but they put the job posting up just for formalities, right? You know, just because it's part of the protocol. It's getting wild out here, man. We are living in crazy times where when you in the grocery store, you can get about 7 items and it's almost $100. 7, 8 items, you almost at $100. That is craziness. It's craziness, man. And I don't know, man. It's like we working at these jobs. They're not giving you a cost of living a cost of living raise. It's just like, hey, cost of living getting higher and the jobs are not trying to match that. They don't give a damn, right? Now, y'all know, I'm getting a little personal on here with y'all. Y'all know when I had lost my job, I had been working for 7 years, right? For the same employer. I was a government contractor making decent money. I was making much more money than I make right now. Much more money than I make right now. Double the money I'm making right now I made at my previous employer, right? And I remember when we got laid off abruptly out of nowhere, just because, you know, budget cuts, excuse me. Just because budget cuts happened. Budget cuts happened and nearly all of the government contractors were let go. So now I'm like, yo, this is crazy. It was a crazy twist and turn of events for myself. My daughter was in private school, right? My son in daycare. You know, I'm having to pay for different things. Stuff like my whole life just went upside down. I had to get on unemployment. When I got on unemployment, unemployment was giving me less than half of what I was making at my job, really. A little under half. So in order for me to be able to sustain, because we didn't get no severance package when we got let go, in order for me to be able to maintain through this drastic change in income, I had to really, like, if it wasn't for YouTube, man, if it wasn't for y'all supporting this channel, man, I don't know what I would have done, right? So fast forward, I'm out of work for 7 months. 7 months I'm out of work. My unemployment ends. One of my former co-workers, because all of us, nearly all of us that had got let go, nearly all of us, we were still looking for jobs. The job market was that crazy to the point where I'm looking like, yo, is my resume wrong? But it wasn't. It's just It was hard to find a gig. One of my former coworkers, she told me about a job opportunity. She like, yo, the previous experience that we have, they're probably gonna hire you, Malcolm, based upon the work experience that we have. I put in an application, got an interview, got the job, right? When I get into this job, it's through a recruiter though. They don't tell me that, yo, when there's not a lot of work, you're gonna get sent home early and you're not gonna get all of your hours, right? So now I'm like, oh, okay, because I didn't know any of this because we had an abundance of work. We had an abundance of work to start the assignment, right? To start the job, I had an abundance of work. And then after some months happened, the work volume decreases. I started getting sent home early. You know, your check getting short, all of that. And so this is the situation now. Now, my checks are coming up short, really because the hours are short. You know, hours are we working less and less hours at times because we're low on work, volume of work. And so when all of this is happening, it's like, yo, man, this is getting wild, man. And again, finding gigs is hard to do. And it's not even just me. It's a lot of folks that's going through this right now, man. I know a lot of people who, man, it's just rough right now because, yo, this one job is not cutting it. Yo, my rent just increased drastically. Everything is getting too expensive. And I'm saying this as a father of 2 children. One of my children has special needs. My son has autism, which is why I wear this puzzle piece pendant around my neck, right? So there are services that he needs that requires money. Specifically ABA therapy, which is an expensive therapy that he's going to start soon, right? So I'm working my job with whatever hours I'm getting, doing what I gotta do, hustling on YouTube, trying to pour into my channel to get the extra income in to help his mother with the funds and all of that for therapy. My daughter started school, had to get her stuff for her stuff for school, back to school, all of that, right? So it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy. And I know so many people that work 2 jobs in order to survive. I know people out here really, and again, these are people that are educated folks too. Educated people. They gotta work 2 jobs in order to make ends meet. They gotta work a regular job and then a part-time gig. They working on the weekends. Not being able to spend time with their kids because they trying to pour in more income just so they can have a roof over their head. Just so they can have some stuff in the fridge. Just so the kids can have some funds just to be able to take the kids somewhere nice. Just to be able to take the kids somewhere nice because the check from their main job is really spent on bills, right? And that's the situation for a lot of people, man. And it's very crazy out here. It's frustrating for a lot of folks. But this should not be the scenario for us at all. This should not be the scenario for us at all. We got to work several jobs to be able to just to make ends meet and just to have a social life or to be able to have your kids be able to have some fun. You know, people got to work 2 jobs to be able to take their kids to an amusement park, to an arcade every so often, to take their kids on a little trip every so often, you know? And that is not a good thing. Being away from your children so much that you're not able to spend time with them. You know? Your kids really not being able to bond with you because look, when you ain't working, you trying to make sure they got what they need and then you sleeping. You sleeping just so you can get a few hours of sleep in so you can be able to be awake during the job, during the gig or whatever. It's crazy out here, man. And I keep saying it, but I know I ain't the only one that's seeing how this world is playing out, how everything is going right now. I sit and I thinking, I'm like, man, you know, a couple of years ago, everything was straight for some people, not for everybody. I'm not gonna be ignorant and say everybody was good some years ago, but for a nice amount of people, things were good years ago, and now it's like people are back to square one. And this is me speaking with a master's degree, right? I have a master's degree in communications. You know, I went to school, poured myself into my education. I'm talking about I didn't give my all to being educated and all of that, just to be able to have a good job, to be able to provide for my, at the time I only had my daughter, you know, and I was able to provide for her in great fashion. My son came, I was able to provide for him in great fashion. Then out of nowhere, budget cuts happened. My job got taken from under me, just like a ton of us did at that job, you know? So, and then I found myself at another gig and they shortened hours and shit. It's just crazy out here in this world, man. And so I know this is not just a scenario. This is a scenario for many people. A scenario for many people out here, man. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, this is a scenario for many people out here. And I remember when I had did a live stream about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks, like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I was talking about, you know, the Trump administration banning individuals from using essentially food stamps, EBT. They ban people from using food stamps on sugary snacks and sugary drinks, right? And I'm like, a lot of people that have never been living in poverty before, people was like, well, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? You just spend your extra money, just use your money to buy snacks. And I'm like, yo, do you know there's people out here, after they pay their bills, right, they got about $100 to stretch over 2 weeks? For real, man. And in order to even get food stamps, you got to have nearly nothing to be able to get it. So you already, when you already don't have no money, because you really got to be nearly, I'm talking about have nearly nothing to get a link. I said a link card. That's Chicago. In order to get any EBT, an EBT card, you have to have nearly nothing. When I was on unemployment, when I got unemployment, I applied for an EBT card, which is a link card in Chicago. They told me, hey, I'll make too much money to get that. I'm like, bro, I'm making scraps off unemployment. And I'm telling them how much my rent is, all of that. I provided all of that to them. They still say you make too much. So I was not granted EBT. I couldn't get an EBT card while on unemployment, while getting unemployment benefits. Knowing, yo, I can't even pay my rent with this unemployment. I'm hustling on YouTube to cover this unemployment ain't covering hardly nothing. When I got to pay for a child tuition, and I didn't want to pull her out of school because this was a school she had been in since first grade, right? I got to pay for, you know, all different other type of things, all other type of bills we have. Yeah, like what? Yeah, I need that card. I need that EBT, you know, but it wasn't granted to me. So yeah, man, this is really trying times in America, man. And I'm praying for everybody that's out here trying to maintain and out here trying to live. Right? Whether you living with somebody or you doing it by yourself. Times are hard out here, man. Times are hard. You got people trying to do like they have certain things they got to cover financially. And it gets hard when the cost of living just keeps increasing. I always make the joke about people having to window shop at grocery stores, and that is for real. You got to be strategic about buying groceries, man. And a lot of people have always had to do that. So I'm not discounting that. But it's really like now is like people really have to do that now. And again, we shouldn't have to be in a situation where you got to just have work multiple jobs to be able to survive. You got to drain yourself. You got to go damn near, you got to, I'm talking about go, not work, not go crazy, but work yourself to exhaustion in order to bring home some money that's comfortable. You got to be damn near exhausted to bring home some money that's comfortable for you and your family, you and your people, or for yourself if you don't have a family. It shouldn't be the case, man. Something is wrong out here in society when that is the situation. And again, when people make it seem like when you are struggling or whatever, I always hate this, because when I talked about the Trump administration telling people you can't get sugary snacks, or you can't get a candy bar with an EBT card, you can't get some damn Skittles or a drink, a soda or something with an EBT card. I say, yo, this is not about people being healthy. They want to police, people feel like they want to police the poor, right? Because people look at poverty as a morality issue. They look at it as, what did you do wrong in order to be poor? What did you do wrong in order to not be able to pay your rent off one job? What did you do wrong in order to be struggling in this world? What did you do wrong in order to not be able to find a gig? What did you do wrong to not be working in corporate America? And I can be a story that people can use. Southside Chicagoan all day long. I never smoked. I never drank. I went to college on a full academic scholarship, right? Graduated with my bachelor's degree. Went to school, went to get my master's right after graduating with my bachelor's. Got my master's degree. Came back to Chicago, was working in corporate America for the longest of time. Got into corporate America at 24 years old. You know, got into my own spot, all of that, did all the things they say you're supposed to do, all the things you're supposed to do right in this world. And I said it before in other videos. Didn't fall into no street stuff, nothing, right? And boom, just like that, my job was taken from up under me. I applied to all these different jobs, all these high quality gigs, corporate jobs, could not get an interview. I've never been in that situation before, y'all. Could not just get one interview. Couldn't, like, it is, you know, and I know you ain't gonna be able to get every job you apply for, but yeah, man, that's the situation, man, out here. And it's wild, man. It took me a while just to get some employment. And it's a lot of people out here that don't have a job now, and it's hard for them to just get their resume looked at, to get their resume pulled, you know? So yeah, man, my prayers are with everybody out here trying to make it, trying to survive. If you got a child with special needs like I do, you're trying to maintain, trying to pay bills, trying to pay for your child's services, trying to make sure your child has everything to live comfortably. Yeah, it's rough out here, man. We gonna make it. We gonna be all right, but things gotta change though for us to really be all right and be okay. Stuff gotta change, man. It can't continue like this, man. People got to be able to pay folks the cost of living out here in this world. You know, rent gotta stop going up crazily. This shit gotta cease. It has to cease, man. For real. Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out, y'all. Peace.